Okay, this is philosophical chairs we're talking about theme in our reading class. And we read 2 books, Pink and Say and The Butterfly by Patricia Polacco. And our debate question is, what if we could pick one major theme for both books, would it be cultural differences or friendship? And this side is cultural differences. This side is friendship. And the middle, they're the undecided. But they can choose sides once they hear what their peers have to say. So again, tell me, what are some of the rules for philosophical chairs?
Jason. You have to, once you talk, you have to let 3 other from your team talk before you can.
Right, so if you say something, 3 people on your team have to speak before you can speak again. Next.
Toby.
Toby.
You have to summarize what the person before you has just said.
Right, so if Christopher says something on his team, before someone over here can speak, they have to summarize what Christopher just said, okay? Anything else? You're able to switch sides. Very important factor, okay? And remember, we are always respectful during debating. So here we go with philosophical chairs. Dylan, I think, volunteered as tribute. So please make sure we're at a level 3 presentation voice. Go ahead.
Okay, so I am on the friendship side, as you can see. And the first point I'm going to bring up is I believe that if you took out the war part of the book, it would be, you know, you'd be left with a lot of dialogue, so you could put that into a different story, or different, the whole cultural differences part, you know, 2 different religions or whatever. Put that in a different situation, like take out the cultural differences or whatever. Put all the friendship and all that, stuff in a different situation, it would still be a full book. Take out all of the, dialogue about them doing whatever, as friends, instead of just helping each other. Then you have an empty shell of a book left that is, some parts that fit together, but they don't really fit together. They're just random pieces of dialogue that are here and there.
Okay, I'm going to interject. Provide textual evidence on when you said if you take out the compassion, all that stuff, they're still doing friend stuff. Remember, our learning target was providing, like, we can make connections, providing textual evidence. So where is your evidence?
Okay, so the books are based in war times, Civil War, and then World War II, and Nazi-occupied France. So that is one part of the book. But if you took out the, all the war stuff, which is not war, but there's the Nazis that don't like the Jews, and then there's people harboring the Jews, and then in the Civil War in America, which is for Pink and Say, there's people that don't like the blacks. Take that out, put all of the friendship, which there's a lot of it, like in The Butterfly, they're getting together in the middle of the night, to be with each other because they like each other a lot. And then Pink and Say, Pinkless, or whatever his name is, helps, what's his name? Sheldon. Pink helps Sheldon, as a friend, and there's a lot of compassion in that, just helping someone you don't even know who they are. Yes, the war is part of that, but you could take all of that friendship that there is and put it in a completely different sense, or a completely different thing, and there'd still be a nice story there.
Yeah, it's cultural differences.
Cultural differences. The war has to do with it still, I know, but there's the Nazis, which believe that the Jews aren't a thing, which is the cultural difference. And then in America, the Civil War is between the, slavery. So, the war is still in there, but the war is not the main part. Or the cultural differences, which has to do with it.
Okay, so you were talking about how if you take out all the cultural differences, then it would still be a really good book. It would still be a real book. And then if you take out the friendship, the cultural differences, it would just be like 3 pages long, not a really good book. But Patricia Polacco, she makes a lot of books about war and how it includes cultural differences. So I feel like she made this book really to make about cultural differences because she makes a bunch of biographies, and so I feel like it's supposed to be about cultural differences and how they're able to, how they have completely different backgrounds, and it's just comparing each other. And so it's just setting up different ways for cultural differences and how, even though they do come together as friendship, it's still talking about how they are completely different and how they don't come from the same background.
Well, I like how you said how they don't come from the same background because they are different and that has a big thing to do with it. But I feel like the biggest thing is friendship because even though they're different, they're still friends. And so, cultural differences has a part of it, but most of it leads up to friendship because they're friends anyway, and they play with each other in the middle of the night, even though they could be in trouble.
So pretty much what you're saying is the main thing is friendship because they come together and because they're friends, they go together in the middle of the night, so they don't. So even though they might get in trouble, but in Pink and Say, yes, like you said, it's mainly friendship, but the first, pretty much. So on the heartbeat thing, the introduction, the plot diagram, the introduction, the rising action, and the climax pretty much has to do with cultural differences because it starts off, I can't remember exactly how it starts off, but I know for sure the rising action is they get off school one day and they go to the candy shop, which normally is their place to go because the person who owns the candy shop gives the kids candy just to give them, and they witness the Nazis come and be literally.
So I get what you're saying, and how basically it's the Nazis hate the Jew marks because of their cultural differences. I think in that specific story, it was more religious differences, and not because the Nazis, they just didn't like Jews, and Jew marks are Jews, so I don't think that really has anything to do with the culture. I know, religion falls under culture, but I think for a theme in the story, it needs to be more specific, and I think culture is really broad.
Okay, I'm gonna interject in here. Define culture? That was one of our questions in our last unit of social studies. What is the definition, not the characteristics of culture, what is the definition of what culture is?
Customs and beliefs. So religion completely falls under culture. Not just as an example, but it falls under it as by definition.
And he said that, but Cole said, yes, religion does fall under culture, which it does, but the other difference for Pink and Say is what? What's the difference? Racial. Okay? So does racial differences fall under cultural differences is the question I'm asking. Why do you think it falls under cultural differences based on what Christopher said, shared beliefs and customs?
Because their race would be someone with another race, they might have the same beliefs and customs traditions as them, but they most likely wouldn't, because they'll probably be from another place.
Okay, but there's some white people in the North who are against slavery and some white people in the South who are for it. So I guess the real question is, how does slavery tie into cultural differences?
I think that it does tie in because it's saying the belief of how if it should be slavery or not between the black and white, and then I think that it does fall in.
So, you had people that came over from Britain, and so you had people come over from Britain that came into America, and they kept their customs from Britain, and there was slavery in Britain, and so they kept those customs and those beliefs from when they came over, because they never had any interaction with, African Americans, their ancestors in Britain. They had literally no interaction with them. So whenever they come over to America, they see someone that they've never even heard of. They've never seen it, heard of it in the past from their ancestors. So they're like, what is this? So this does, fall under their culture and their beliefs from their ancestors.
Okay.
Not knowing where it is.
Racial differences may fall under the cultural traits, but I don't think slavery does because people force them to be enslaved.
Can I rebuttal more? Even though I can't answer your question.
You just spoke, so 3 people before you can speak.
I know you said that slavery doesn't really fall under cultural beliefs, but if you look back in history, they've had slaves for all the way since Bible times. Slaves have been so long, and that kind of has to do with the definition of culture too, because that it goes along with their history and their background. So I believe that cultural differences has a lot to do with slavery because. Slavery has a lot to do with cultural differences because it's a part of their history and their background and their beliefs.
I straight out don't like what you just said because cultural differences, it doesn't have to do with skin color. And skin color is why slavery